Toolman McCann here. Takes certain tools and skills to build cool things like this. Follow and subscribe and have a great day. Today, what we are doing, we are upgrading all of our equipment to cordless tools, and we're making improvements here and there. We got the table saw, we loved it, so we decided we're gonna go ahead and get the chop saw. We got the compressor, we're gonna use our little generators to charge the batteries as we need to. Tune into our other videos, you can see the generators that we're gonna be using, these little Hondas. But today, our Dewalt cordless compressor came, and can't wait to check it out and see it. So I figured I would make a little video to unbox this and show you what it is and what it can do. Basically, it's 60 volts, and it's lithium ion, and they work amazing. The power that these things have is surprised the heck out of us. We couldn't believe it. I mean, with the table saw, we made multiple cuts doing windows. Geez, like half a house worth of extension jams before you had to charge the battery, and that was quite a few cuts. All right, so this thing came with another battery, and it came with a charger. So this is the 60 volt flex battery that it has, and it does come with a little protector. Now these are very important. Make sure you keep these and use these. Get in the habit of them. If you just throw this around in your tool bag and it shorts out, this thing can explode, cause fires, cause all kinds of problems. So right off the bat, save those little clips, keep them on there, and they're great to have. Don't lose those. Ta-da! There she is. All right, let's check this thing out. Okay, so this thing is 135 PSI. Has a gauge, has your air chuck. You can adjust the regulated pressure to it, your on-off switch, simple pressure relief there. Put your battery in right here. And you release your pressure at the bottom down there. Pretty neat little tool. I can't wait to try this. Now we're running small air tools, nail guns, trim guns, nothing special. If you're shooting framing guns or roofing guns, you're probably going to burn through a little more air. I don't know how well these keep up with that, but from what I'm hearing, they do really well. So we'll keep you posted on how all this works. Make sure you follow along, and we'll show you how we add these to what we have going on with our trailer as we're upgrading and improving our tools and selection, and hopefully making life easier and better. I can see just using this already and looking at it that I want to get one of these for the camper and take this with us camping. Fill up the tires on the machines and the trailer and the trucks, and even just to have for running other air tools that I may need. It's kind of really neat to see where this technology is going with this batteries. I know they just came out with a chainsaw as well. I'm almost curious to see how that one works, and for what we do, it might be rather handy being a light, nimble little thing. But please check us out. Like, subscribe, share us. Thanks. Have a great day. All right. Well, today, big, cool stuff is happening. The UPS guy came and left me some really awesome stuff. So I ordered a Dewalt cordless propane heater and the 60 volt table saw. Now, I've had one of these table saws before. This is really amazing table saw. I can't tell you enough of how well this thing works. It has way more power than you could ever imagine a battery-powered thing having, and that's what kind of got me pushed on this battery technology to really use it more and kind of switch everything over to it. So I needed one, I bought another one, so I figured to make a showcase video on opening it up and showing you how it works and what it does. But I also picked up this heater. Now, I have a job coming up, and winter's right around the corner, and I only need heat in small areas. Okay, let's give this thing a whirl. I have a bunch of Dewalt stuff, batteries, and all that, so I want to see what it's like. Kind of curious about this. I brought in a propane tank so I can hook this up and show you what it does. And, well, comes with the hose and the regulator. All right, well, let's open that right up while I'm here. There's that. Something under the tag that says do not remove. That's probably the handle for how to use the heater. This thing, whew. Getting there. Wow, it's like a jet engine, torpedo heater. All right, look at this, pretty cool. So I guess obviously we have to put the handle on there, but for now, let's take a look. It also has a plug, so you can plug your extension cord into this and run off of electricity as well. I managed to bring a battery up here with me. I'll grab that in a second. But let's open this bottom part. Hook up our fancy hose here. Now this thing's 68,000 BTUs, which is kind of perfect. You know, I'm doing the bedroom. Let's call it 12 by 16. So I don't need a whole lot of heat in there, but turn this around, you can see some gauges and stuff on here. It has the igniter and temperature gauge or thermostat. God, nothing's cooler than getting new tools. It's always an exciting time. Alright, there's that one. Don't use vice grips on this or just strip your stuff. Always get the right wrench for that. Now, battery, I believe plugs right in the bottom here. Yeah. And it's probably good to go. I'm gonna guess you just have to push this on and turn it on, and let's see what happens. Maybe I can turn it like that and you'll catch a blast. So, turn the propane on here. Fan on. Press the start fan button. Look at that, she's alive. Press the button to turn it off. Fan button right there. And here's the other thermostat knob to turn the temperature, and the igniter switch. Push the switch in. Look at that. Don't want to blow too much heat to the GoPro there. Wait a second till it gets going. And then you can take your hand off of it, now it'll run for a minute. And now we can set the temperature. That's nice, that's perfect, just what you need. A little bit of heat, a little bit of air. Warm up the room, we'll take that. All right, cool. So now that's running, and like I said, you push that, it turns it off. This is obviously your thermostat control. Yeah, now you're talking. Cool, I like this thing. And then all this, just push the button and out. I can run with one hand. I like it. That's gonna work really, really well. So, with that said, Dewalt Table Saw. Now, this is an 8 1/4 inch, 60 volt, awesome, awesome table saw. You can rip like a sheet of plywood on it, it extends out really far. Everything you really want in a portable table saw. Doesn't weigh all that much. I mean, it's not light, but it's not ridiculously heavy. You can pick it up single-handed and yank it around. It's, well, can't rave enough about this thing. Ain't single-handed even with whatever I'm holding on to, so it's not too bad. Ooh, the blade is probably in that. That one's a little lighter. Alright, let's see. Ta-da! In all its glory. Nice new table saw. Now, the reason for a new table saw. Well, let me get to this one. I have an old portable one. It's an old Makita. And, well, I can't say enough about that one because I've been using it for 20 years. So, it's so beaten, the plastics are destroyed. The motor itself on that one is cutting. The bearings are worn in it, and the blade cuts into the side of this as you try to rip. And you can feel everything moving and wobbling. You can't cut anything on a 45 or it'll cut a giant bow in the board no matter what you try to do to it. So it is time to get rid of the other table saw. Besides that, I have a bigger one that's kind of almost borderline shop saw. So to load it in the truck and unload it, it's big, bulky, you almost need 2 people to move it. So I don't like to move that one to job. This is what I need. I can pick it up one hand, it fits in my trailer, it'd be a piece of cake to use and move. So I like this. Now, this is an 8 1/4 inch saw, 60 volt. I happen to have a battery right behind me here. And I bought this one without the battery and charger just because we're running a couple other tools that are 60 volt. We do have a showcase on both the chop saw and the compressor. The compressor's phenomenal. Check that out. I'll put some links right here and you can get to those. 60 volt battery. Okay. Clips right in the side. Pretty cool. Pull this little fancy switch up. Keep your finger out of the way. Ooh, she screams. This thing will rip too, I tell you. And it goes. It's awesome. Cuts right through anything like butter. Hard to believe that this is just a battery powered saw. I was definitely so sold on this technology. I had to try the chop saw as well and was just as impressed with that. Especially if you do trim work, quite a bit of trim work. I mean, this thing is a great saw. I want to go out and start cutting something with it. Even the guard has an attachment for the vacuum right on there. And drop that right in there. Okay. Here. This is your fence. This fence, so perfect. It does a lot of different things. It has 2 different spots you can clip it. There and there. You have a release lever right here. That allows you to then turn this knob to adjust your fence. And that locks it once you get it. Super simple, keeps everything precise. This thing stays so in line just by flicking it and doing that. Now, let's say you want to get far out. Okay, so now we're out that far. We have this little piece that flips up and over to support your material on this side. All right, well that's not big enough. Now we have to go even further. Now you can rip your full 24-inch wide stuff that you need to do. You have your gauge here, tells you everything where you're at, and whether you're set far out at 24 1/4 or you move it in and it'll show 20 1/4, and that gives you better support. Again, just crank it in. What an amazing table saw this is. Super excited to have it. And then when you're done, I'll move this back over so you can see here. When you're done, this thing just clips back up on the underside. There. Roll it in, and then you can lock it down. Now when you pick it up and carry it around, it's solid, nothing's moving. Really great. And it stores nicely just like this, which fits perfectly in a trailer. So it doesn't take up a whole lot of room. Obviously I can turn the blade down, make it even smaller. But overall, I'd say it's like the perfect traveling portable table saw. It's not that heavy and comes with your fancy little square. You know, it's not cheap. This one, just the saw alone, I think I paid like $3.79 for this. Now you can get it with the battery, it's like $5.50. All right, let me show you some other things with this. You have your adjustment for your blade. Simple little crank here, and then very easy to slide and adjust and lock where you want to be for your cuts. Your on-off switch. And this was the gauge I was showing before of what you want to do and be at. Now, the old table saw, it did its thing, but we're gonna have to put it out of its misery and put an end to its life. So if you want to check out our other videos and see what might happen to that table saw, well, that's up to you, but I would advise it. It might be kind of fun, it might be kind of cool. But other than that, all right, a couple other cool little features. This fancy little gauge here, and Kickback Guard. This thing just clips right in the side here, so it's easy to store and carry with you. Just the pin on the back, turn that. Now that's mounted and in there. You can still store a piece of cake. This guy fits down underneath. You have wrenches here on the side. They store easily. And you have your kickback blades here, or anti-kickback guards. They come out and hook to that other guard there. But this, the dust guard, if you will, finger guard. But this clips down in here.